Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Meet the Judge. And before we start, just two big shout outs. One to Anthony and Joanne Westerhouse for their artwork, which continually they seem to excel with for my advertising. And also to Rachel Blackmore, who won the Grand National today, first woman to win the Grand National, and Irish. So that makes us very proud. Tonight we travel to Spain, and my guest tonight is Enrique Maté Durán. Enrique is a terrier specialist synonymous with Scottish Terriers, West Highland Terriers, and of late Cairn Terriers. Very popular worldwide. He's very sought after, frequent and very welcome visitor to Ireland on many occasions. And I think this should be a very entertaining interview. Good evening, Enrique.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, how are you?
Good evening, everybody. You are very welcome.
And how are you?
I'm fine. I'm very, very happy. Yeah.
And how are things in Spain with regard to the COVID situation?
Sorry, will you say it again, please?
What's the situation now in Spain regarding the COVID situation?
Yeah. Okay. Well, it is not. It depends on the areas. In the Basque Country, where I come from, the situation is not wonderful, especially Catalonia in the center. Is Madrid, which is probably the worst because they've been quite easy, just to keep the catering and the restaurants and everything open, which is always. I mean, it's unpleasant to say people you have to lock down. Because everybody needs the money, everybody owes money to the banks, and the situation, even for a politician, is not easy. I guess the politicians have not done the right job, and this is why probably, after Christmas, now after Easter, some of the people from Madrid are paying the consequences.
Right. And are vaccinations being rolled out, or?
They're starting to be. Probably they have already finished with the people, with the elderly, with the people over 80 years old, and now probably they're going down. Within, I think this next 2-3 weeks is going to be quite good, quite satisfactory, because at least now we see a lot of movement coming. Although there is a lot of controversy as well with all different kinds, I think it's a subject to different kind of business or money involved in laboratories anyway. So it is difficult. It's difficult to keep an idea because every couple of days the situation is different, and so the news changes continuously.
And in relation to dog shows, I assume there are no dog shows happening in Spain right now. Do you think there will be?
Yeah, well, in fact, I think next month they're due to be celebrate 1 or 2, but it all depends how is the situation. Let's say a couple of weeks before. So I don't know. At least there is in the beginning of May. The beginning of May, there is 1 or 2, as far as I know, but I don't know what's going to happen. They would like to officiate with some local national judges because the traveling is not so easy so far.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens for the next 2 weeks.
And are these all breed shows or just small breed shows?
No, I'm talking about international. I'm talking about a ship show. Yeah, international.
Wow.
Well, indeed. Next week I was supposed to be judging in Ukraine. Yeah, but I never I never believed that it was going to be done. I've been waiting, and last week they sent me an official letter saying they have to cancel the show until they have a new date in next summer.
Right. Okay.
So the situation in the eastern countries is not very good either.
No.
Even in France is quite worse than here.
Well, yeah, and even today, the Irish government have added France, Germany, I think maybe even Spain to our list of countries that if you come back from there, you must isolate in a hotel.
Oh yeah, I heard. Yes.
So it is still a very serious situation. But hopefully this time next year, I know we said it last year, but hopefully this time next year we'll all be vaccinated and seeing one another again.
So. Yeah.
So to start off, Enrique, did you have dogs growing up?
Yeah, well, that was very, very long time ago. When I mean you handle dogs. Yeah, of course. In the beginning, the very early 80s, I used to handle and I used to breed. But unfortunately, I was living in an apartment in the center of the town. So actually, I never had the opportunity to do great things. But on the other hand, my brother had to do all my dirty job. So, I mean, he kept, yeah, yeah, this is what I mean. Actually, he kept the dogs. He'd always been living in a house. Now I've got a new one, which is even better. So actually, not myself directly, I was living in an apartment, but my brother did. So the job we did it together.
Okay, and were your parents involved in dogs, or
Not
did
at
you
all.
were they involved in showing or anything? No.
Not at all. My parents love dogs, but as I said, we were living in the middle of the town in
Hmm.
Bilbao, and we living in a small apartment, and the situation for having the dog was not the best. So it had
Right.
to be since when I went to the UK for the first time in it was 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80. No, 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 sorry. It was 75. I went to do the military service. So I'm thinking about, oh my God, it's so long ago. 72, actually, 72, Then I went to England, and then I went for 3 months, and finally I spent nearly 3 years. So that means I had the opportunity to work with some breeders, and then I came across two dogs and I got into it and really, really kept me deeply. Yeah. And when I
You
came
just said
back,
you went in. You just said you went into military service. Was that something you had to do?
not indeed, no. But I tell you what, the situation in that in that time, it was very difficult in my country. All the young people who study here, when they finished studying, if you wanted to work, it was very difficult, very, very difficult to find any sort of job because they would ask you if you were free. And then we have the military service, which was about 15 months. So nobody wanted you. So the best thing to do was go to England and at least
Mm,
learn something and learn English. And that was a
mm,
very, very important thing.
mm. And the first breed that you and your brother started showing, what was that?
Yeah, the very, very first breed is got a reason why. The very first breed was an Irisetta. Irisetta. I don't know if people who are watching it would remember people like Jose Luis Maza Gainza, who was the founder of the Setter Club in Spain, and also Norman Huidobro Corbett, very famous
Hmm.
for his Afghans and also Irisettas, but from the other side. I mean, it was like a sort of a fight between the people who really believed in the pure Irish setter from
Yeah.
Ireland and the people who started to think about code, movement, exhibitors. And that was Norman. Probably he was very close with the mentality of Afghan. Anyway,
Yeah.
we started to work on that, and out of that, we have our first Irish setter. And then I met a champion, and out of that, we started to breed two or three generations. We got some champions. That was the mid 80s. Mid
Right.
80s. No, I would say a bit, no, 83, in fact, because 1983 was the World Show in Madrid, who I was a steward in for Mrs. Lennox. Okay, and I
Yeah.
don't know if anyone will remember Mrs. Lennox Brackenfield and Mr. Houghton, Sir Houghton.
Hmm.
Anyway, that was 83, in fact.
Okay. And
Yeah.
when you started showing first, um, which people greatly influenced you?
Okay, in fact, in the very beginning, it was this gentleman that I mentioned, Jose Luis Maza Gainza, who was an international judge. He was the father of all the setters. He was the founder of the club, and then because of that, I spent 12 years helping him. I spent 12 years in the club, organizing year after year all the club shows. I had to invite the English judges or Irish judges to come and prepare and everything. And I used to do all the work.
And
As
this
you
is
know,
you sent me a photograph. This is the photograph you sent me, if I'm correct. Yes.
I wish I had more time. I wish I would have had more time, and I could have sent you some more beautiful pictures of that time. But I'm not at home now. I am on Easter holidays.
Yeah, the photograph you sent me is of this gentleman, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
That gentleman. Oh, you mean the one I've got in here?
Yes.
No, he's just my belated excellent friend. Probably, as I mentioned, after is no doubt about it. He's the best breeder I've known in my life. This is Alberto Velasco from the Apis Chalines. Everything he touched, he would get gold after that. He was a so talented guy. He used to a terrier judge. I used to be very famous with wire fox terriers, Lakeland, and miniature schnauzers.
Okay.
That is the picture.
So
it's not that's not the one of the gentleman I was talking about. The other gentleman was much older. Yes.
So you moved then from Irish setters, I'm assuming, into Scottish Terriers. Yes?
No. There was something in the middle. No. After that, we've got a wonderful golden retrievers from Dimes, one of the best affix I've known ever, from Enrique Frickstrand from Sweden.
Yes.
And then we have some other imports as well, even from France and from Sansur golden retrievers. And we've got a few dogs in between, which really give us a lot of success. That was our time with the golden retrievers. And then after that, my brother was pushing me to have his first Scottie that came from Scotland, from Falconer, from Jim and Al Falconer. He was a Scarista. Then I had two Brio from Jane Miller, two Brio, which was a lovely, lovely dog from Brio, Jane Miller and Liz Cartledge. And then this is where everything started for the Scottish Terriers for us.
Okay. And you were very, very successful with Scottish Terriers.
We did, very good. Yeah, the only problem I had, I'm going to explain to him. I want to explain here. It is the incompatibility I found. Okay, I started to be very well known in the rings because I used to be always with the judges, with the top judges. So it was not fair for me to show my own dogs under my friends. Because if you were the winner, even because if you had the best dog, you were going to be in everybody's mouth. So I started to see that it was not very much compatible. On the other hand, my brother could do this job. But my brother is such a nervous guy that every time I saw him and the dog, I saw that the dog was quiet, and after 2 minutes, the dog was like him. And it was not fair to find, let's say, some professional handlers. I'm talking to you now, late 80s, early 90s. It was not fair to get professional handlers to do that job. He wanted to do it himself. Anyway, we always have good friends, not professional, but probably successful handlers who did our job, especially with some West Highland White Terrier. I will never forget. It was a dog that it was from a lady from Australia who was given to me by Judy Avery from Sheridan. She couldn't keep her, obviously, and then they let her have it. And then he gave us so much success. He was very, very happy. And then the dog, we kept it in Madrid with a fantastic handler, groomer, and a really important man in dogs. His name is Cesar Alonso, very, very well known, which has been in crafts more than 25, 35 years. Probably many of you would know him, Cesar Alonso.
So, do you call yourself a gundog person or a terrier person?
No, I would consider no. I'm definitely terrier. I'm not a terrier person, and I would consider myself. I'm very much close to a Scottish Terriers. And in the last 18 years, something we discovered a bit late, I'm afraid, but then we start our first Cairn Terrier, and was the beginning of it. And then we have our first Cairn Terriers from Sweden, either two lines. One was from, obviously one from Hugh, and the other one from Retriever. And then out of that, we started to build up with another. We have a partner, Senora Storky, who really, together, the three of us, my brother, Javier Astorki, and I, we did the job previously, brilliantly, for many years.
And excuse me. Obviously, the one thing these three breeds have in common is that they have the same origin. So what for you epitomizes the characteristics of these breeds?
I don't get you actually.
For you, what is the essence of say the Scottish Terrier, the West Highland Terrier, and the Cairn? Why?
No, but that was in different years, you know. When we finished with the squad, when we finished with the Westies, we passed for a few years with the Scottish, and then finally in the last 18 years we did nothing but Cairn Terriers.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
My question is
always. I'm always something I have to say. My brother always kept, but not as a breeding purposes or showing, but always have as a lovely pets and companions, Kerry Blue Terriers. Now he's got a new one. He's got
really?
about 7-8 months old puppy, a new one. Yeah. Can take. We always have Kerry Blue Terriers at home, but
Really?
my brother, yeah. Yes.
Mm.
Now the two puppies, we were a little bit suspicious that probably the new puppy, the new Boston Terrier for my niece and my nephew, they were going to have a conflict. But today, my brother sent me his video, the Kerry Blue and the Boston Terrier playing, and it's been really, really amazing. I really had a good time. So they sleep together. Yes, good.
But my original question is that for you, what is the most important characteristic of the Scottish Terrier or the West Highland White Terrier or the Cairn Terrier?
Okay, there is one thing in common, and is that we have to keep the streaming, you know, to keep all the coat in good conditions. The Westie was not easy at all, as many people can understand. The Scotty is not so bad, but still, Scotty is the temperament. In normal conditions, they are quite stubborn. It's not an easy breed. Even
no, they're not.
Yeah. On the other hand, for the Cairn Terriers, they are so 4x4. You can do whatever you want with them. They are easy. They are rustic. They are lovely. They can. I don't know. We are very much in love with the Cairn Terriers.
As an exhibitor now, what has been your biggest achievement?
Not many, I'm afraid. No, not many. I can tell you.
Well, in partnership with your brother.
Yeah. Anyway, I can tell you that not my brother. Talking about myself, I remember very, very young. You know, very young. It was must be probably 84. I got a best in show in an international dog show under Pamela Crostern.
Okay.
Best puppy show for me. It was like a treasure. I don't know. I was very, very happy indeed. And after that, but anyway, we have many best of breeds on this kind of different other breeds that we mentioned. But actually, it is many years ago since I'm not in the rings, because as I said before, I've been doing other kind of jobs in the dog atmosphere, which myself I thought it was not fair to be on the ring showing dogs under my friends. And mostly all the foreign judges who were coming to Spain, no matter where, probably they were there because I advised their names. You know, It can be Malaga, it can be Madrid, it can be many places, especially in the north, San Sebastian, Bilbao, even Galicia by that time. So I had to go and stay with them, look after them like a babysitter. So I would not rely on any steward with not much experience. You know, I had to do it myself. That was the best to keep me, I don't know, I was satisfied. Till the first minute, until the end, when you take them to the airport and I say goodbye, I'll see you soon. So anyway, to answer your question, the very few times I've been, well, not very few. The 99% of all the times I've been in the rings, probably I've been doing some kind of job. supervising or making sure everything goes under control. And my judges were happy enough with the job, you know.
Mm.
I
And if
don't
we
know
go
if I,
back to you spent a period of time in the United Kingdom.
yeah.
So were you traveling, looking at kennels? Were there people
Not very
that
much, not
were there
very
people
much
that
because
you sought out?
yeah.
Were there people that you sought
No, I tell
advice
you.
from?
Well, my first time I went to the UK. I was very young, as I said. I was 18 years old. I went to
Hmm.
pick up strawberries in a farm camp near Colchester. That was in Essex. And then I went there for 3 months. But it was so nice that actually I realized I found out I did not. I didn't. I enjoyed it very much, but I didn't learn much English. So I said, okay, I'm going to stay here at least a year. A year, and finally I spent nearly 3. So within that time, the only chances we could have for a fellow like me was, and to be, you know, they were not even the European Union, no common market. It was
Yes.
it was 72, 73. So that means that once you get into the country, you could get 3 months as a tourist. But after that, you have to show that were you legal in the country, and especially if you were working to get some money. You know,
Uh-huh.
well, if you wanted to make it legal, you needed a contract. And then to get a contract, the only places you could go is especially hospitals,
Yeah.
restaurants, hotels, and places like that. Or kennels where you can do, obviously you can imagine when you're 18 years old, you can only clean. If you are clever and you are lucky because the people involved, they let you go a little bit closer, but then you can learn a lot of things. And that was it until I had to come back again to my country to do the military service for 15 months.
Right. Right. Um, and in terms of your judging career, when did you first start judging?
Yeah, okay. When I first started judging, well, that was about 84, 85, 84, 85. I started to do my first national open shows in my country. But as I was so much connected with the UK, I was so much connected. I used to go so often, nearly every month, every 2 months, I used to have to go. Then I started to get invitation even in the UK, very big ones, sometimes 2,000, 3,000 dogs. And then I met very interesting people, very important judges, and I
Hmm.
learned a lot. I learned actually all I needed to. So
Yeah.
then I apply in my country to do that. That was in the
And
mid 80s.
in terms of the people you were meeting, were they very big names?
Yes, I could mention people who passed away long there, but I can't remember since the time of Bobby James or Joe Braden. That
Hmm.
time, I don't know. How can I remember so many important names? Well, that was really made me get a very close with Pamela Cross Pamela Cross Stern.
Yes.
She was the godmother of my son Daniel.
Really.
And then we got a very good relationship. So we kept very much together,
Mm.
you know.
Mm.
Well, I could say, I don't know, hundreds of names. Peggy Grayson. Uh,
And
well,
this particular lady.
yeah. Oh, that's my mother. She's my mother in dogs. It's Marion Spavin. Her and her family really means a lot to me. Every time I used to go to the UK, if I was in the area, I would go and visit. I would go and visit. And lately, in the last 20 years, after Crafts was held in NEC, well, she was living about 1 mile away from NEC. So I used to go and visit her and have a cup of tea with her, take that picture, and go to and go to my hotel in next to the NEC.
Mm. Mm.
Oh,
She's a
Marion is
wonderful,
married.
wonderful
It's been
lady.
many
She is.
years of a splendid relationship.
Yes. Um, and when you started judging, can you remember the best piece of advice you were given?
Oh well, the best advice I've been given. Yes. Try to be cool. Um, don't look at faces. Be relaxed. concentrate on the dogs, do the job, touch the
Hmm.
dogs, make all the job movements, and then take decisions in the last 3 seconds. That is the one of the best advice I had.
Yes, actually,
Be
yeah.
polite, obviously, be polite. Well, I can say that, like a nun would say, there is too many ways to get to God. Okay, I can say there is too many ways to get to knowledge, to get to dogs. The main thing is that you love dogs. That's the main thing. Then there is too many different ways of how to get to them. Can be out of breeding, but I mean, I can understand that somebody who has been judging for more than 20 years all over the world. If you did a good job and you have no complaints and everybody congratulates, that must be probably is the best to know that at least you're not doing a bad job. What
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
is, I focus it from a sort of not a business point of view, but exhibitors must deserve respect. Respect, everybody pays. Without exhibitors, we are nothing. There's no dog shows, there is no judges, there is nothing. So even if we come across with some ambition and not very polite exhibitors, we have to be cool. We have to know how to count sheep, we call it. Count sheep means counting when you are 23, 27, probably you're angry. If you're angry, you are not anymore because you have forgotten it.
Yes, yeah, I think that is very, very true. And if you say being relaxed when you're judging and treating exhibitors, I mean, you sent me photographs. I mean, like this. I mean, uh, you
Yeah,
probably got some.
this is a puppy from Russia.
Yeah,
Okay, I can say the quality in some Eastern countries about certain breeds, the bull type, are wonderful, and I really, 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 I had a lot of success, I must
that's a
say, with this
huge,
kind
that's a
of
good,
breeds.
great photograph. And I mean, look,
Oh, Bedlington, yeah, that
yeah, you have
Bedlington.
an
I
affinity for, you have an affinity for Bedlingtons because I mean, here you
okay,
are
this
getting
one.
kissed.
This one here is especially it was an specialty in Sweden. It was a club show of the year. I had 84 Bedlington Terriers, so
Wow.
it was wonderful. I have a high quality dogs. I enjoyed it very much that weekend.
And yet again, here you are getting kissed by
Well,
a dog.
yeah, well, many people thought it was a blondie, but it's not. No, it is a Lhasa Apso in Belgrade after being besting show. This is a Lhasa Apso. Yeah.
Uh, but the
Yeah,
point I'm making is you look so relaxed when you're judging, and it is so
I am
important, I
indeed.
think, for judges to realize that you are judging the dogs. You have to be kind to them. You have to be respectful to the exhibitors, and you are so right.
Oh, I feel very relaxed, and I enjoy it.
Well, I
Honestly,
think
indeed.
anybody who shows under you realizes that because um,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, Now, for judges who are starting off their judging career, do you think it's important for them to seek advice from um, people who have been
Mm,
in the breeds for a long time, people who've been judging for a long time?
Well, okay. Well, depends on it all depends on each person. We are all different, but we have to use a little bit. I think the best enemy for this kind of things is arrogancy. You have to
Mm,
be not cool. You have to be humilde. We say it. I can't find the word in English. Humid. The opposite of arrogance. When you have to be cool, you listen to everybody, especially some top judges, or especially some other who's got more experience than you, or people
yes,
who he's been involved with the breed for many years. Then of course you can listen, or even you could, I mean, if they give you the chance, you could ask some questions to make
yeah.
you be more confident when you are on your own in the ring.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I
So I
think
all kind of advice is very welcome.
mm, I think even as judges who judge a lot of breeds, I think we probably would do the same. Certainly, when we're sitting around a group ring watching groups, when with fellow judges, we will ask questions about various breeds and keep learning because you never stop learning.
You never stop learning. That's right. That's very true. Well, I don't know. We've got in the FCI, we've got nearly just around 400 breeds, but I
Yes.
think they are far too many. One of the things I admire about American Kennel Club and also Kennel Club and some other kennel clubs in the world, probably Canadian, Australian, or no South African, but New Zealand Kennel Club, is that they have a certain numbers of, like, let's say 200, which is half of it, because I think it's not easy to cover the whole lot of breeds, 400 breeds. There is no one in the world who may know a lot of each breed. Some of them are
Hmm.
young breeds or local national breeds. Uh, so anyway, it is good. It is good when you are an all-rounder and you have to do all this, rest of that.
Yes.
That probably you don't know till 1 or 2 weeks before when all the entries are closed.
Yes.
It is good to go and check with the standards, because otherwise it's not easy. I would say
Absolutely.
it's impossible. You need some tips from somebody who knows the breed to give you, hey, be careful with this or be careful with that. Or
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
this is very normal. Yeah.
So we've got quite a few people watching tonight, Enrique. We've Anne Ingram as usual. Good evening, Anne.
Really? Oh
Tom
wow.
Hare is
Hello,
watching.
hello
Jose
everybody. Hello, hello.
Jose De Mello is watching.
Oh my God, Pepe,
Gabriela
Pepe.
Vega,
Yes.
uh,
Oh, Gabriela from Portugal.
Colette and Johnny
Great lady.
Muldoon,
Yes.
Mede Surum, Amanda Salmon, Tom Hare.
Oh my
There's
God,
loads
I
of people.
haven't seen her. Medellin.
Yes.
Oh, super. How's Denmark? Yes. I
So in
think
terms
I
of
think probably I'm sure she would agree all what I said about the Kent Terriers.
Carla Molinari has just popped in as well.
Oh,
Now she's
Carla.
watching. Yeah.
Hello, Carlita. I miss you. Te echo mucho de menos. Yes.
Um, so in terms of your judging, you judge quite a few breeds now. You judge,
Yes, yeah. Not too many, because when I started taking this judging seriously, I mean, start passing the exams and all that, probably I started a bit too late. And that situation, it started to a bit harder, difficult, and you
mhm.
can't go, let's say, breed by breed, on probably a maximum of 5 breeds every year, because then you need to live 200 years to be all-rounder. You can understand that. You can imagine. Well, my age does not allow me to go 5 and 5 and 5, because probably by the time I get 2 new groups, I will be far too old. I won't be able to do any more anything else. But anyway, I spent too much time. I spent too much time doing the other job, organizing. And once you are organizing, you are part of this organizing committee. You have to forget about judging, because
Mm.
either you are doing this or you are doing that. I mean, I don't know if you follow me actually, or probably there will be somebody who don't agree with me. But I mean, it's not easy when if you are working on the organization, you are in politics, and if you are
Yes.
in politics, you cannot be mm, like showing and things like that. I wouldn't show my best dog. I wouldn't show under a good friend of mine, because
Well,
I put him in a very difficult situation.
I think that's very fair what you're saying because I mean,
Listen,
shows,
this is my.
all
This is a
shows
very.
need organizers,
Yeah, but it's
and
obvious. Someone has to do it.
I don't think
Someone has
people.
to, but someone has to go to the airport and pick up the judges you have invited, because
Yes.
probably they are also friends of yours. And I'm not going to rely on a taxi driver. I'm not going to rely on anybody. I don't know, a 20-year-old boy who speaks 3 languages but knows nothing about dogs. I
Mm.
want that person to feel comfortable since the very first minute he arrives to my country. So this is
But
what I mean. So once you start doing that, making sure everything is under control, you cannot be thinking about your judging tomorrow, or you cannot be about my showing tomorrow. No, 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 no,
mm,
no. I concentrate on that. Now I don't have so much these duties as I used to. Probably I've got 2 shows every year, like our shows in San Sebastian next to the French border, and the other one in Malaga, to just to give a hand to some close friends. And I have to be there. I mean, I have to be there. I do it with pleasure, obviously. But I mean, not as I used to, not anymore, not anywhere else. I would prefer judging with no other responsibilities but judging.
mm. And Anne Ingram just says you're a great host and super fun. Um, Liz Gonzalez says, hello, Henry.
Who say that?
Liz Gonzalez in Gibraltar.
Oh my God, Liz, hello. How are the monkeys in the rock?
Angry, probably. As they always
Well,
are.
maybe not. No, they like stealing. They like stealing all the shopping from the
yes.
supermarket of some silly tourists. They go to the rock to take pictures, and they go into the car.
Yeah.
I say this because it happened to me once.
Did it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful place. But you do make a very valid point, because shows need organisers, and I don't think. I mean, Rita and I organise one show a year, and you know it takes a lot of organisation, and I don't think people realise how much organisation goes into doing a dog show, particularly an international dog show.
I tell you what, something I miss in certain countries. In certain countries, what I miss is that probably everything is all handled by sort of professional, but I can feel how cold is everything, because those people probably are businessmen, but they've got nothing to do with dogs. So I don't get very, very familiar. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
even if
absolutely.
someone comes and pick me up to the airport in a taxi with a name on that, and then you ask something about the show or about anything that's got to do with dogs, and he doesn't know how to answer because it's got nothing to do with dogs.
Yeah,
it's just somebody who is doing that kind of job.
Yeah.
Probably you follow me. Probably you know what I mean.
Absolutely, absolutely. So back to your judging. Do you enjoy judging abroad?
Very much indeed. I don't judge in my country so much as I used to. First of all, because I've got enough appointments abroad, and I cannot be every single weekend traveling out of home. Sometimes I enjoy staying at home with my wife. You know, we've got a really lovely places to visit around here, and then we have some social life as well. But anyway, when traveling abroad, I also sometimes I meet friends, or sometimes I meet new people, and with new dogs, new experiences, new breeders, and then I feel very free. In certain countries, the education, I wouldn't say it's superior, it's bigger. Maybe yes, but it's different of judging in other countries, probably some Mediterranean countries, which is where Latin, the temperature is higher in the blood, you know?
Yes.
But what I mean is, people still don't understand that this is a game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, because each even the standards, even if you follow the standards, the appreciation of the judges, they have a different point of view. One of them, they would value a lot movement. Other judges would prefer to see a dog standing up, blah blah blah, you know, and then. And people on the other side of the fence, probably they don't agree what you are doing. But all those people who really normally they have their opinion, or they say blah blah blah, they don't see the dog as I do in the table. They don't see if everything is correct. So
and you know, it goes back to the saying that, you know, if every judge agreed, there would be no point to dog shows, because you could just send the rosettes out in the post.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So
well,
it is. All judges different.
It could be an strange game for people who are not very much involved. You know? Yeah. Only very few people would understand probably what you're doing. But, you know, I mean, of course, anyone can make a sort of mistakes. Anyone can make something that I don't know, probably today you don't have your best day. You're not so brilliant. All right.
Yes.
But normally you try to do the best. And of course, spend the time every exhibitor deserves. People who spend the money at least deserve a couple of minutes, or even 3 if possible.
Absolutely.
But in big shows, when you have to do, let's say, 125 dogs, and then you have to finish by 1 p.m., you must have your best of breed, because it's got to go somewhere else. And then for the best group, then you cannot spend that time you really need, especially if you have to do some sort of critics.
Absolutely. That's where it becomes difficult.
Because I
Um,
mean, for many people, they think that you don't want to do your job properly. You want just to finish. They say, blah, blah, next, blah, blah, next, and it's not fair. That is not the point.
but
The
that
point
comes
is you want.
down,
The point is that you want to do it correctly. You want to
absolutely.
do it. Yeah, yeah.
But that comes down to show organizers. I mean, show organizers need to allow, particularly as you say, when you can arrive at or get your numbers before a show, and you may have over 100 dogs to judge, and you have to
But
be
on the
finished.
yeah, Colm, on the
You
other hand,
you
I
must be
understand.
finished by 1 or 2 o'clock. That's an awful lot to ask when you're doing critiques.
Yeah, but that happens everywhere, even at craft. It happens everywhere. Sometimes the best of breed at crafts of a very important breed, is not on time on the pre-ring. To go to the
Yes.
to the group and he says, "Sorry, there's no golden. Golden is absent. Why? Why is that? How can you
Mm,
explain to
mm,
the people that?" But anyway, I can empathize with organizers because I am part of it, and I
yeah.
can understand when a big event, when a lot of money is involved, when the sponsorship, the TV chains. Everything is so much controlled. Everything is much scheduled. You have to follow the schedule. It is very difficult to explain that to other people.
Mm, mm. No, true. Fair point. It's 4 a.m. in Australia, and Keith Lavelle is tuned in and says hello. Did you
Yes.
hear that one?
No. Did I?
Um,
Could you please say it again? I didn't
I
hear.
said it's 4 a.m. in the morning in Australia,
All
and
right. Yes.
Keith Lavelle is saying hello to you.
Oh my God, Keith, it's lovely, lovely. Hello. Yeah, thank you very much. You should be in bed by now. Yes, Keith.
um,
Yes.
so aside from terriers, is there a breed that you really love to judge?
Is it a breed of what?
That you really, really love to judge?
Oh yes. Well, there is not one. There is a few. There is a
Okay.
few breeds I love to judge. Well, I love to judge Scottish, as I said. I love to judge a nice and sound golden retriever.
Yeah.
I love to judge. How can I say? Well, but this is my main two, and Scottish, obviously. Those three are the ones I really enjoy, and I've got beautiful experiences judging them.
Mm, mm.
Yes.
And is there a fault when you're judging that really irritates you?
Well, it irritates me. Well, I could say, yeah, it irritates me when you see a nice dog, which you have put your eyes on it, and then when you're going to approach, you're going to go and touch very gently, and then the dog starts to, I don't know, to turn his head and
Mm,
start going backwards, and then you can go say, "Hello, darling, hello, dear," and then it is completely, the
yeah.
temperament is
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Or beautiful dog, lovely coat, everything wonderful, lovely handle, a handler who start putting the hands here and there, and I don't know why, and then you see the bad mouth. And then
Right.
you see
Yeah.
a really extreme undershot. What you do with that? This
Yeah.
is really irritates me and say, well, there's nothing I can do about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And in terms of that sort of handling, this you if you have come across it, this fashion nowadays for double handling all sorts of breeds, um, which is creeping into Europe on a large scale. Do you agree with that?
You're talking about double handling.
Double handling, yes.
Well, I could be a little bit tolerate. I cannot be a dictator, by saying you shut up or you keep your mouth quiet or next time you open your mouth, blah, 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 blah. No, but only if you look at someone who's really doing something naughty, you just go on and look at him and you don't even have to mention a word, a single word. I think he understands. So that
Yeah.
means it's a yellow card,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
you continue with the job. And if the guy did not understand you, you look at the handler because probably it's a professional handler doing it, and the other one is a silly owner who's got not much experience.
Yeah.
Then you look at his eyes and say, "Will you tell your boss, that his behavior is not correct?" And probably both of them will understand you.
Yeah. 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 So now, within your judging career, Has there been a particular dog that you have judged that, in your opinion, is uh, so close to the standard that it gave you the wow factor, or gave you did it
Yeah.
that made you stand the hair stand up on the back of your neck?
Yes, I will tell you a beautiful story. Happened to me a few years ago. Probably was about 8 years ago. I was judging in Norway. I was judging in Bergen, and I have about 25 golden retrievers, and I was not very happy with the quality of the dogs. I was not very, oh, I was like getting a little bit bored, to say, oh my God, I don't know the best of breed, if it's going to be good enough to be best of breed. And then out of a sudden, we had a veteran class. And it was
Hmm.
three veterans in the class. And then one of the veteran, I say, wow, oh my God, oh my
Yeah.
God, what's that? It was a 8 years old dog.
Wow.
So I went, I judged it, I touched it, I moved it, everything was fine. And then finally was best male, and it was best of breed, that veteran. So
Wow.
anyway, I say, okay, he's really saved me the day. And then 2 hours later, these people came to me and I say, don't you recognize this dog? And I say, oh, so you are the owner of the best of breed. Yeah. This dog was 2 years ago best of breed. Is the first foreign golden retriever to to win the best of breed at Crafts. That was an origin dog from Carl Joldel from the Afik Jacobs, and then really well. This I will never forget that situation. That was
Yeah.
good.
That's wow. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And another thing I could say once I'm here talking about golden retrievers is that I was judging 2006 in Brno, and it was about four. It was a 2 day show, 3 or 4 thousand dogs, and one of the golden retrievers. I saw a guy who probably after years became very quite famous handler, very famous handler indeed. It was like a brushing it, brushing and here, and I thought it was like a too much, with some spray and brushing more and more. And I went to it before judging. Before he started to judge, and I said to him, never forget that golden retriever is a working dog. So I say, don't make it a prima donna on it. I don't
Yeah.
want that. And
Yeah.
he said to me, oh, maybe you think it's American, blah, 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 blah. I say, never mind. I mean, nothing to do with that. Anyway, after I judged all the golden retriever, this dog, I was sort of making critics. He was best of breed. But later, 2 hours later, it was best of group. And the day after, it was best in show. That
Wow.
dog. So anyway, that was a very famous golden retriever who, after I judged it the same year in the World Dog Show in Poznan, in
Hmm.
Poland, 2006, and he also won with me the junior class because it still was a junior dog.
Wow.
Probably many people would know which dog I'm thinking about
Yes.
and which breed and which handler I'm thinking about.
Mm. Okay.
Well, and if you want to know, I can ask. I mean, you can ask and I can tell you.
So Rakrishan Swaminathan from India, who also does interviews with judges for Indian boxing. As far as I know, if I'm correct, he's going to be interviewing Anne Ingram very shortly, which will
Oh,
be a
Andrew. Oh,
great interview.
Anne. Thank you
Um,
for being here.
he
Oh,
wants to know, how much
yes.
importance does the dog's ring presence play in your decisions?
Could you please answer me? Make the question again.
How much
How much?
importance does a dog's ring presence, um, how much importance does that play on your decisions?
Well, I don't know if I understand properly the question, but I mean, a dog that comes to the ring, first of all, well, it all depends on situation. It's got to have a nice presence. It has to be
Yeah.
probably shown. Sometimes not the professional handlers do the best job because they're in a hurry or whatsoever. And then after you examine the dog, you have to really compare of how many dogs you have. You would do this or that decision. I don't really know if the question
No, that's fair
is
enough.
being
Yeah,
answered.
that's fair enough. Um, so now moving on to dogs past or present, is there a dog that um, you've never judged, but you've seen that you would love to have judged?
Well, after 38 years coming to crafts, there has been a lot of and a great number of dogs that I would love to judge, to touch, to play with it. I mean, it is hard to say one
Mhm.
particular dog, but
Yeah,
even the early times in Earl's Court, I've seen so many wonderful dogs, all different kinds, not only the breeds that I can judge, all
yeah,
different. I could say names that I still keep it in my mind. I remember since the times of the best in show Afghan Hound with Chris Amu
yeah,
or or Garfield, the Clump Spaniel.
yeah,
With
absolutely.
yeah, of course, there's been so many. Oh well, and there's more. There's been Sean Carroll, yeah,
Yes,
yes, with his
yeah,
Pomeranians, yeah,
yeah.
and Papillons. I remember many, I mean, many dogs that really kept me close to them. Would
Mm,
be difficult to say one particular dog.
okay, okay, that's fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
would never not want to have to mention how to forget Audit, that wonderful Irish Wolfhound from Sina Thorn Andrews. That
Yes,
was top. That was top of the year.
yeah, yeah.
That was top dog of the year, and it was very close to be best in show at Crafts.
Mm,
The only
mm,
problem I must say, probably, it's been nearly or just around 20 years. I think we can say that because everything is historical. Terry, my good friend Terry, was in fact, indeed, his interior was like a praying to God that Doddy would not be best in show. He was the man. He was the general manager, the steward, the
yes,
chief, the chief steward manager of Crafts. It would be people would not understand that the chief steward of Crafts, his own dog would be best in show. But anyway, probably Sina was not very happy. But we have to understand that it is difficult to understand everybody. You have to
yeah,
empathize with the other side.
yeah. Um, so irate exhibitors, you've touched on this a little earlier. How do you deal with argumentative or irate exhibitors?
Mm, no, I don't get a question properly.
Angry exhibitors,
Help me a little bit with the question.
exhibitors who don't agree with your decisions.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah.
How do you deal with them?
Well, as cool as I can. As cool as I
Hmm.
can. Sometimes, if you give too many explanations, it is even worse. Okay. If
True.
you are very listen, if you are very tough and you just say yes, no, or even nothing, that is sounds to be probably correct. But for me, it sounds a little bit rude. On the
Yeah.
other hand, depends how is the approach of that exhibitor. If you come to me in a good way, in a good mood, probably after everything is fine is finished, when everything is done, I will have more than 5 and 10 minutes to talk to him and to change his impressions. You know, well, we understand that to follow into the standards sometimes could be not easy, and some top breeders, they probably, even because they've been too many years, they think they know everything, which is not even, I mean, it's not correct either. But it all depends, as I said before, is a fact of arrogancy. If you come to
Hmm.
me in a good way, we can become friends. We can argue about this, about that. Even in the end, it's like a referee in football. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
Absolutely.
if I answered the question.
Yeah. No, no, that's fair enough. You have. And I see Filippo Tassielli from Italy is watching tonight as well, and he's got
Who is
some
he from Italy?
Tassielli from
All
Balboa
right.
Kerry
Hello.
Blues. There's some
Hello.
fantastic Kerry Blues breeding at the moment.
Yeah, for sure,
Some
for
beautiful.
sure. I remember the Balboas and the Arcamas, of course, many years. Yes,
Yes. So,
and he's.
critiquing, Enrique, do you enjoy critiquing? Do you think they are worth doing?
Do I like? Do I enjoy?
Do you
Where?
enjoy critiquing?
Oh, right. Yes, yes. I have to tell you about that. Listen, I must be very sincere. For many years, because in certain countries we never do it. Like in Spain, we don't do critics. Okay, probably because we organizer consider that is a sort of waste of time because people don't appreciate it. Okay, because
Okay.
people only comes to get the excellent. People come to the ring to get the CAC, and they don't care what this tweet is talking about my dog. I know about my dog more than anybody else. Who the hell is going to tell me? I know what I've got in my hands. But I have to say, after judging for many years all over the world in different countries, I can tell you I have to change my mind, and I think a critics is necessary. First of all, because that shows that at least you have to spend time with his dog, with the dog of the customer who spent the money. Secondly, is out of the critics, many people can know if the judge knows what you're talking about or knows
Yeah.
nothing about it.
Yeah.
And when I say nice head, good blah, 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 it is that probably is in a hurry because he doesn't have much to say.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I think critics, it is not only important, it is necessary.
Mhm. Okay. And do you think judges have a role in developing breeds or in guarding against health issues?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't really think there is room, there is a space, there is even time for these kind of things. People just only want to finish, to get the target, and
Hmm.
then I think the judges would not get involved with that kind of issues.
Okay. Okay. Um, Now you mentioned handlers a little earlier. When you're judging, do you adopt a slightly different approach when you're judging professional handlers, or do you treat them as just another exhibitor?
Well, as I said before, I focus the dog world, the ring. I focus the ring from another sort of, how can I say, from the organization point of view, which it means that involves that this is sort of, well, we must admit it. It is money involved in the end with the sponsorship or
Yes.
whatsoever. So what I mean is, we have to find room for everybody. In a ring of about 20 dogs can be 5 professional handlers, 5 to 10 owners, sometimes owner breeders, and sometimes Sunday drivers.
Yeah.
Sunday drivers means probably people who is the first or second or third time they are in the ring.
Yes.
We have to be cool. Well, this is psychology of every judge. I don't like very much when certain stars, like very famous handlers, come to me like showing off and trying to impress me. Sorry, I just want them to do a good job and to help me in my job, as to show me the dog the best they can.
Uh-huh.
Try not to make tricks with me and with other exhibitors, like putting in front of the other, all
Yeah.
these kind of things that we all understand. So anyway, and on the other hand, I can understand that junior handlers, they make our living doing that job. So I can be as well. I can be not only I can be friendly with them,
Yeah.
but I never want anybody to take advantage.
Yeah.
You understand what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
If I
Absolutely.
want to give something, I will give it with pleasure, but I don't want anybody to take it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that includes all kind of exhibitors in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as somebody who is very, very involved with the running of shows, um, how do you make sure that the exhibitors have a good experience?
Well, nobody's born learning. We have to understand that we have to be patient according to the time that you've got scheduled to do your job, to do your judging. But it is good to be cool, and sometimes if you have to be patient with those exhibitors who had no experience at all,
Yeah,
probably is the first dog, but we still need them. You know, out
absolutely.
of out of all the whole lot of dogs, if we take out all the Sunday drivers I call, I don't know if you understand me
Yeah, I
by
do.
saying
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay? If we take all that, then the amount of dogs of with the professional, with the people involved with the dog world, is not enough to
That's
run
right.
out the show. So
Absolutely.
we have we have to put some oil in the wheel and let it go,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Um, and again, as a dog show organizer, um, how do you think we can encourage new people into our sport, or how the new people that we do have, how do we keep them in our sport?
Well, this is a very good question. Well, youngsters, young people is the future. Obviously, I'm not
Yes.
saying nothing new, but in certain countries, I could mention some of them, but especially I admire the UK for, for the junior plans and all that schools when they are young. If the parents start following this kind of clubs, handling, that means that probably is one way of those youngsters to keep their mind in the right directions, and then in a few years time they will be probably adults, and that is the future. So in many countries they should do care, they should take care about that, because it's like a put a seed, put the soil, put a little bit of water, put light, and wait, and that will come out a beautiful flower.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so many countries should think about that, and unfortunately, there is not so many countries who do care about that.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if I
you're right.
answered the
No,
question.
no, you are right, because um, I think in Scandinavia they are quite it's quite good. They have a
They
lot of
are
young
indeed.
people.
Yes, yes.
I think certainly here in Ireland we do have young people, but they do tend to leave the sport um, after a time. Um, do you think FCI do enough to encourage young people?
I think all the organization in general, not only HCI, just started with a plan but I'm not very sure. All the kennel clubs itself, the national clubs are doing enough. We have to start from the base. We have to start from the local kennel clubs to
Yes.
encourage young people to do that. And that I understand that it takes time, and we need people who really wants to do their job probably for nothing. And
Yeah. Well,
I
that's
don't
it.
know. There's so much so much selfish done in the world now. Everybody only thinks about getting either profit or get sort of advantage out of it. Say, what do I gonna get back by doing this job?
Yes.
And if you don't find it, then you wouldn't do it. And then this is what I think. I know.
And
Uh,
unfortunately, there are so many other things for young people to do these days. I mean, it's not like when you and I were growing up, where we didn't have Xbox and we didn't have PlayStation, or we didn't have the internet. So we went to dog shows with our parents. It is a very different era and difficult.
yes, it's a different era. This probably we have to work harder, or try to find out if there is some new expectations for the youngers to follow.
Mm.
Probably we have to change or do something new. We have to discover something new to
I,
get those
yes,
young people
yes,
to follow to go with the flow and to follow.
absolutely. I
Mm.
agree totally. And in terms of the again, as somebody who organises shows, you may have come across this, or you'll certainly be aware of it. Um, the activists that are certainly across Europe and the UK that are causing trouble and are influencing governments to bring in legislation um, for dogs. Do you
Well,
think our kennel clubs are handling this correct?
well, I don't know if some of them now they are aware of this problem, because I think the civil the civil, the people, the normal people, they are really confused. I think the pedigree dogs, they see it as something like elite, or there's something like something privileged, or which is nothing, you know. But I think they're wrong. I think the normal people, I think they need some kind of genuine information.
Yes.
We have to do it through the national clubs. Um, Pedigree dogs, they are not in the best moment right now because, can I say, the new owners or the future owners are confused. I can understand adopt a dog is very, very fine. It is very fine, of course. But we have to explain to those people who want to have a dog that if you want to have 100, well, never 100%, if you're gonna have a dog, you should know first if you're living in an apartment or if you're living in a house, or how, if you have got time, if you got long time to spend with the dog, and then if you know the dog that is going to have be this big or that small, or it's going to be that. If you know that because you're talking about pedigree dogs, then there is no surprises. Like you getting a dog, then you get something undesired, something you're not very happy with. But on the other hand, you love it because it has spent the last 5 months in your home. And then what you do with it?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. But
Politician,
do you
yeah.
think that national kennel clubs um, have enough
No, I think that now
influence on
this
governments? Do you not think that there should be a more international approach adopted?
No, that is the problems I found in my country and even others, which I think is not going to be very different. Is probably politician because they got some sort of pressures. They take decisions with all the knowledge, man. They should take the time it needs. Get in touch with the people involved, with the people who really understand about these issues, and then when they consider everything seems to be fine and all the parties agree, they could take decisions, but not before. It's like
Yes.
we have these kind of problems in my country. People, I don't know. It really not makes me very happy because last week we have something like that, in my country. And what I heard is that they started to do this kind of bullshit, I must say, and they never touch other things that involve a lot of money, like can be the indiscriminate handling and the bullfighting and whatsoever. It is good to touch everything and to explain everybody, not doing this and not touching that.
Yes. But I think, in my opinion, what kennel clubs and FCI, Kennel Club UK, AKC have got to try and do is, I mean, we have a situation where, for instance, Lady Gaga has a designer dog, so therefore everybody wants to have
Well,
a dog,
unfortunately,
and of course the puppy farmers or the puppy mills will provide the dogs for that market, but the kennel clubs appear to be failing to get across the message that we breed purebred healthy dogs. Well, for example, we have in Ireland right now, we have and I'm not going to mention names, but we have a vet who is running a website, right, for the sale of dogs, who is saying that Cavachons are a very healthy and superb breed. And, who knows that? I mean, a Cavalier and a Bichon, that's not a mix that you want to have. And this is the situation that kennel clubs seem to fail to be combating, and we're losing the battle.
kennel clubs, they would have to spend time, probably some money as well, which is one of the problems because everything is cost money, like making some sort of information through the media. Just, I must say that yesterday, indeed, we have a program in one of our TV channels talking for more than half an hour about that. There is, I must say, I'm thinking that probably because the France and some frontiers they were
Yeah,
closed, they were closed the frontiers in the eastern countries, or I don't know, like a friend go from Serbia to Croatia, from Croatia to Slovenia, and from Slovenia to Austria or whatsoever. But I think it seems to be not very, very hard for a lot of, I would say, small lorries, small van or big vans, full of puppies you know. And what
Yes,
about the frontiers in the Autobahn in Austria? They cruise like I don't
absolutely.
know, from to another, and they arrive in all Europe. They spread out all the countries with a, with puppy farms with no quality of dogs. And then we had a program on TV, Spanish TV, last night actually, talking about exactly the same problem. And it was a lot of hundreds of complaints of people who really were not happy after being with a dog, one of those dogs, puppies, for 3 months. It is every day in the veterinarian, spending the money and having something that is suffering at home. I
Mm.
don't know. I think Kennel Club and other organization must do something. We have to work together to try to avoid this because
That's
they
my
win in the
point.
battle.
Yes, this
They
is
win
my
in the
point.
battle.
Um,
Yes.
because as you rightly say, it needs money, and we need to employ a PR company to get our message out there to the public, because we can't do it as small kennel clubs. I mean, the Irish Kennel Club is not a big kennel club. The Spanish Kennel Club, I don't think, is a very big kennel club.
That's
You know,
right.
so we need FCI, Kennel Club UK, AKC, to get our
All
message out. I mean,
together.
the
Yes,
other
for
problem,
sure.
the other huge problem we have here is theft. The amount of dog theft in Ireland
Yeah.
right now is huge.
What
Um,
about what about this? Well, as you said before, those this kind of crossbreeds, like this is a, how they call it, Brewer or whatever, Yorkshire Terrier and a Maltese and things like
yes,
that. How is it considered that if you want a dog from a top breeder, you will pay this money? Let's say, I don't know, 2,000 pounds for a puppy.
at
Okay,
least,
right,
yeah,
with a pedigree. And if you want some of this crap, and then probably you don't make it for three. How
yeah,
come is that? So that means that the people need explanations.
yes,
People needs to know that,
mm, yeah.
and someone has to explain to them. You
This
know,
is the problem. This is the problem. This is what I
what about
think
those?
Kennel Club. This
What
is
about
what
those?
we're failing to do.
Yeah, and what about the lab doodle or things like that? What is that?
Yes.
Hmm?
Um, and the man who invented the Labradoodle now regrets that he ever did.
Anyway,
Um,
yes.
anyway, Joyce O'Connor is watching and she says hello.
Oh my God, Joyce.
Yes.
Yes, long time no see. Yes.
um, so, okay, we're going to lighten things up now a little bit. You're going to have a dinner party, Enrique.
Am I going to
And
have a dinner party? Not
yeah, a
really.
dinner
No, no, no,
party,
no,
and
no.
you're going to invite four people,
Yes.
or more. Who would they be?
Oh my God! Yeah, that was the one. If I had to have a dinner party with the people, oh, let me think about it. Yes, yes, yes. Really. Well, obviously, one would be Teresa from Calcutta.
Okay, yes.
Teresa from Calcutta. The other one, obviously, would be, well, obviously, I say obviously, would be Nelson Mandela. And the other one would be Gandhi
Uh-huh.
and Martin Luther King.
That is one hell of a dinner party.
Yeah. And I would enjoy very much with them. Now we talk
Wow.
about dogs as well. I tell you what. Well, a couple of years ago, well, one before the pandemic. Well, actually, I went on purpose to India. I spent nearly for 3 weeks. I went to Calcutta because I wanted to be round the place. I was in the tomb of Teresa of Calcutta. I went on
Okay, yes.
purpose after I read 2 or 3 books about her life and about all the dog, all what she did in Calcutta,
Yes.
yeah, in India.
Wow. Wow. Um, so your funniest or most embarrassing moment as a judge or an exhibitor? I bet you've got a few.
Yeah. Well, it is not. Well, it's a kind of embarrassment, and it was very funny. Okay, I'll tell you what. We were in Minsk, in Belarus. It was early morning. We were in the lobby of the hotel, nearly ready to go to the showground. We were told that outside it were before it was 24 minus.
Okay.
Well, 24 minus. So anyway, I had my shirt, my tie, my jacket, and a probably very fine, how can I say, trousers. So some of them said to me, "Oh my God, don't you have any other trousers? You're gonna be very, very cold, even indoors. It's not gonna be less than -5." Oh my God! So I was with an Italian judge who I can tell the name afterwards because it's not really. He offered me to go to his room to change my trousers and get his trousers.
Okay.
But I must say that his fist, his body is about nearly 2 or 3 times bigger than me, and but the legs was 2 or 3 times the size less than me. But I've had no other chances, so I have to wear it. Then we took the bus, we arrived to the place. But the very, very funny thing was, every time every best of breed wanted a picture with me, I I needed to get all the packets from the sponsor from the pet food and put it in front of my trousers so nobody could see anything. Yeah, that one we'll
I
never
love
forget.
it. I love
Hmm.
it. What's your guilty pleasure?
Oh my God, my guilty. Oh yes, I think I had it written somewhere here, something with all the kind of. Uh, Ask me something first because I don't remember exactly which number is that. Which is
That's number 28.
okay. Let me see. My guilty.
What you
Uh,
really like doing that you wouldn't admit to in public.
my guilty. My guilty. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, okay. Now I've got it. Yeah, it is okay. It is my guilty. Okay, 2 years ago, it was probably 1 year before the pandemic because after last year we were talking. It sometimes it's hard to say if it was last year or the year before. No, the year before. Well, 1 month after crops, it was the probably many people know the charity show that Mrs. Karina Lemaire used to organize,
Hmm.
to get some
Yes.
funds. And it used to be for many years. It's been done in a hotel next to Heathrow Airport. But in the last 2 or 3 years, I've been told that they moved it to a hotel next to NEC at very near, very close to the NEC, and therefore the Birmingham Airport. Anyway, the guilty thing is that all the dogs they have got there, they must be best of breeded crafts, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And I was so lucky, and I saw so wonderful dogs. I really enjoyed it. Can you imagine having in your hands all the best of breeded crafts 1 month before?
Yeah.
So guess what? Finally, we have a runner-up and a best in show. The best in show was a beautiful miniature poodle, beautiful one. And then after all the pictures, we learned it was the runner-up at craft that has been even this year. So this year, this year,
Yeah.
I'm talking about 2019, okay, April 2019.
Okay.
That dog, that miniature poodle,
Yeah.
from Melanie, that is been not only best of breed last year, 2020, but also was best of group, and for the second year, it's been runner up of best in show at crafts. So being so close to those stars, I would consider a little
Okay.
bit guilty.
Okay.
Yes.
And if you could be transported to another country, where would you go?
Yep. Yep. Oh, if I had to be transported to another country. Oh well, this is not a guilty one. Okay.
Go on.
Last year, no, it was 1919. Sorry, but last year, I was lucky to judge in Reunion Island, which is a beautiful island that belongs to France, which is between Madagascar and
Uh-huh.
Mauritius. And Mauritius, and I've had a lovely experience with beautiful dogs, fantastic
Wow.
organized, and so good experience with very good colleagues.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So before we get to your last two questions, you did send me some photographs. Now, you sent me quite a few photographs, but I've just picked a few, and I'm
Yes,
hoping you remember what the
of course.
occasions were because
Yes.
they seem quite spectacular. So
Okay. That was in Beijing. That was in no, sorry, no Beijing. That was in Shanghai 2 years ago in the World Dog Show. My best of breed became best terrier
Uh-huh.
group, and became after that runner up was reserve of best in show in the World
Wow.
Dog Show in Shanghai.
Wow.
Yeah, this is
That's
with a group judge, Mr. Karl
yeah.
Reisinger from Austria.
That's
Yeah,
a good.
A Spanish dog with a lot of winning. Well, I must say it was I judged the Amstaffs in the European the year before, the European in Warsaw in Poland. So a wonderful dog. No words to describe him.
Yeah. And I'm intrigued by this photograph.
Oh, I didn't judge it. I'm not allowed to judge that. I'm not. I don't do any. Well, this is a dog, a national dog, very close to. Maybe people would have thought it was a Lucky's. No, 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 no. It's a national breed from Kazakhstan. I
Ah,
was.
because I thought there was.
Yes,
I
yes.
thought
No, no, no,
no.
no. They're very much probably they're cousins from the Salukis. You know,
Yes.
they all come from the same root. They are from Kazakhstan. I was very not close from Almaty. It was in a beautiful place by LA called Kapchagai. Kapchagai, about 1 hour's drive north of Almaty, the old capital of Kazakhstan. But people who thought it was Salukis, they are not Salukis. I can't remember exactly the name of the breed, but it's probably one of the national breeds of
Right.
Kazakhstan. Yeah,
Okay.
with the lady with that best as well. Yeah.
And finally, this one really intrigues me.
Ah, that was last year as well, not 2020, but in Christmas time in Moscow, probably between Christmas Day and New Year's Eve, probably 27, 28, 30. It's, and this is me, but it's not Papa, it's not Father Christmas. It's got another name in Russian. It's something very
Okay.
similar to that. And this is okay. It's
Yeah.
the top panel with a Scottish Terrier. Well, I must say, this breeder holding the Scottish is together with Dan Erickson of the affix Raglan,
Yes.
one of the most brilliant
Absolutely.
Scottish Terrier breeders of the last times.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
yes. So that was in
Beautiful.
Moscow. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I was actually I was just doing for the well they took me for the organization as well, you know, not only for judging but also to
Oh, you had
amenize
to
or to
work
make
as
I don't
well.
know, to make part of the theater.
Okay. Um, so
Yeah.
you've asked me to move
So
this question to second last. So is there a judge or breeder that you admire worldwide?
as I said before, my number one, and I can't tell you which is no passion, no love, no because he's close to it, because he could have been even from wherever, from any country in the world. But I may say, I will never forget. Well, it was like a brother because we had a lot of things together. We actually, well, this refers to 35 years ago when we used to be at crafts with people with Judy Averis and David Scawthorne. Then after that, I started to have to meet new friends. So Alberto Velasco of the affix Chelines, who just left us a couple of years ago, I would consider probably the most talented guy I've met in my life. This one on the left, obviously, is a 40 years old picture. It is
Yeah.
hard to remember him. Okay, he should be 60 something by now. Okay, I don't know
Right.
if you cannot make it any bigger, can you?
Unfortunately, no.
No, okay, no, okay, because probably many people would remember him.
Right.
And of course, another Spaniard I have to mention, I will never forget. Also, okay, it was a top. It was a good breeder, and very good judge as well. Was Carlos Fernandez Renau of the
Absolutely.
Zarzoso Kennel with his
Yes.
top standard poodle standards and toys. Well, he
Gifted
was
breeder.
another people to mention. And then worldwide. I just came across with very good, interesting breeders, like in Cairn Terriers. Obviously, the two Swedish I mentioned before, like Retriever and Hughes.
Yeah.
Ah, and I can tell you, obviously, Yvonne Cato from Edinburgh. of the affix Bercelo is one of the, in the latest times, I would say somebody very, very important in this breed. Probably Maté, if you're still there, you would you would agree with me.
Yeah.
If you want me to mention some other different breeds, I'm sorry because probably I will keep too many in my pocket. Uh, I said as well, obviously about Dan Edison Raglan, and of course I can say an extraordinary breeder. I can't forget Sina Thorne Andrews and her job
Absolutely.
doing for many years, Sina with the Irish Wolfhounds and the Dachshunds. Um, well, this is passion.
Yeah.
I had passion for Pamela Cross-Stern. You know,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
yeah. This is
And
somebody as well.
I also know that you mentioned in um, Stuart Plain is in
Oh
Scottish.
well, wait. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, Stuart, I do apologize because my Stuart
Who's a
Plain.
gifted Scottish Terrier breeder.
No, but my first Scottish Terrier, probably, I don't know if I said it before, my first one, I went to his place in Seaham. This is about 38 years ago.
Yeah.
It was Frizzy. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
My first Scottish Terrier came from Stuart Plain. It was a Stewing. A Stewing.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
so sorry. I haven't mentioned before. I should have done it.
His
Yeah.
breeding was stunning. I know because my mother had Scottish Terriers and she had
Yes.
a Stuane
Mr. Plain
Scottish,
and Mr.
and he was
Guy,
beautiful,
they are
beautiful.
somebody who is very important to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So, my
Probably,
friend, we come to the
yes.
last question, and
Yes.
if you could write your epitaph, what would it be?
My epitaph. Oh my God. You want me, yeah? Oh, let me see, because I had written, I don't know if I'll be able to read it like that, but I say something I see. Here lies my body of somebody who loved nature, all kind of animals, justice, and try to make people happy as well as get smiles back. Something I learned from my something I learned from my doggy mother, Marion Spavin.
Wonderful, wonderful. Enrique,
Yeah.
it was as good as I expected it to be. You were a pleasure to talk to.
Thank you
It's
very
been
much indeed. And I
thoroughly
do appreciate very
enjoyable.
much everybody who's still there and
Yeah, and
people
they're
who
still
are
there.
still on the screen from other continents.
Yeah, and thank you very much. I know it's what 9:30 in Spain right now.
Yes, just about that. Just about.
Uh,
Yeah, so I'm
so
gonna sit down. I'm gonna sit down. Dina is ready to sit down with those people I
superb.
told you.
Well, you eat
Yeah,
late in Spain
yeah.
anyway.
I think Nelson Mandela says he's hungry. Yes, and
So
Teresa from Calcutta says, keep quiet. We can wait a bit more. Say, be cool. Yeah, yeah.
it's been my pleasure.
Martin Luther King says, keep peace. And Gandhi says, we'll sort it out tomorrow with the English people. Okay. Bye.
It's been my pleasure, Enrique.
Lovely to talk to you
Thank you,
too.
everybody, for watching tonight. My guest next week is the wonderful Patsy Hollings, who
Oh, Patsy!
I'm
In the
very
big
much
banana.
looking forward to interviewing. And
That's
do
great.
join me at the same time next week. And in the meantime, again, Enrique, thank you very much. We will see you soon. Stay safe
Thanks to
and
all of you.
be good. I'm just going.
Bye bye.